Oh my goodness, wow. What a crowd we have here. Welcome, welcome. What an amazing crowd we are at the Missouri Athletic Club. It is great to see your smiling faces again. Welcome to the greatest banquet of them all, the one, the only Jack Buck Sports Awards. We are broadcasting live on KMOX. We are in the Missouri Room at the Missouri Athletic Club in downtown St. Louis, where this dinner has been held since 1970, which, yep. Which, come to think of it, is the same year that this Cardinals rotation was born. So that's perfect. Last season was so bad that this offseason, when the Cardinals signed Gibson to their rotation, I was like, am I dreaming? Oh, Kyle. The MAC is the site. It has been the home of a number of great banquets, but as I mentioned, this is the one. This is the best. It's an event as St. Louis as a slice of Emos. It's as big as a pile of Rams settlement money. It's as powerful as the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge, isn't it? It's as satisfying as a new circuit attorney. It's the Jack Buck Sports Awards at the MAC. The good news is that all of our recipients have been carefully chosen by the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. So there is certain to be no controversy here tonight. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh is in the playoff. Unfortunately for him, he had all of Florida State's plays, so he has to regroup. Sorry about that, Red. I apologize. But his final punishment is to face Alabama in the playoff on New Year's Day. I'll tell you this, though. All I know is in 3 weeks, Ohio State is going to have to deal with Cody Schrader. Who here is from Lutheran South? Let's hear you. Who here is from Truman State? Okay. Not bad, actually. Not bad. MIZ. What a season for the SEC's leading rusher. What a season for the Missouri Tigers. Jack Buck would love Cody Schrader, wouldn't he? He would say, Cody Schrader, he's tough. But he'd also want to know more about Cody, and we will learn more about Cody's story tonight. Cody, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. I had the great privilege of working with Mr. Buck for 5 years, and he made his final public appearance at this dinner in 2001 because he loved you and he loved this dinner. He created this dinner. He started it in 1970. Bob Gibson was the first sports personality of the year. And we are thrilled to have one of our former hosts of this dinner here tonight. Please welcome Jack's daughter, Julie Buck, and her son, Jack. Tonight is a great night. It is a night that will have you walking away with a renewed understanding that this is the greatest sports region on the planet. In 2023, that began with St. Louis City SC, did it not? What a year. We have another homegrown talent. The story of Miguel Perez will be told tonight. We will celebrate with him tonight and all of our outstanding honorees, which we will introduce momentarily. I want to start with our event sponsors because we can't do it without our event sponsors. The sponsor of the Bob Plager Legends Award is Missouri General Insurance. The sponsor of the Jack Buck Award is First Bank. The sponsor of the Carl O. Bauer Award is USI. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to Table 14. The Missouri Athletic Club and the Ryan Trophy Committee are proud to announce David Vitt as the 2023 winner of the Jim Ryan Memorial Trophy. This trophy, named in honor of the longtime MAC member and former Minnesota Golden Gopher Jim Ryan, is awarded annually to the St. Louis area hockey player who demonstrates remarkable abilities both on and off the ice with respect to their playing ability, leadership skills, and sportsmanship. David served as captain while scoring 5 goals and adding 4 assists in the Kirkwood Pioneers playoff run, and off the ice, he excelled in the classroom with a 3.97 GPA. Table 14, congratulations, David Vitt. At the head table, please welcome the president of the Missouri Athletic Club, Neil Perryman. Recipient of the Carl O. Bauer Award, what a season. Women's basketball coach at SLU, first NCAA tournament in SLU history, Rebecca Tillett. Sports Director at Fox 2, proud member of the Missouri Athletic Club, presenter tonight, Martin Kilcoyne. The recipient of the Jack Buck Award, graduate of Hazelwood East, former Rams wide receiver, VIP of business operations of the St. Louis Battlehawks. Another proud MAC member, Brandon Williams. The father of the David Freese Hometown Hero Award, he will present his son. They are together. Let's hear it for them. A 2023 graduate of Pattonville High School from St. Louis City SC, Luis Perez and Miguel Perez. "55 years ago, he made hockey history by scoring 6 goals in 1 game. Please welcome back the recipient of the Bob Plager Legends Award, Blues Hall of Famer, Red Berenson. Joining us, a graduate of Lutheran South, leading rusher in the SEC, and the 9th-ranked Missouri Tigers. Once again, let's hear it for Cody Schrader. And presenting this year's Stan the Man Award, the 1999 Sports Personality of the Year, a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame, one of the greatest players in hockey history, Al MacInnis. And the recipient of this year's Stan the Man Award, the longest tenured GM in the NHL, the 2019 Stanley Cup champion from the St. Louis Blues, Doug Armstrong. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to recognize a few more folks in attendance tonight. Making his first appearance at the Jack Buck Awards earlier this year, he became the new general manager of the Missouri Athletic Club. He grew up a Cubs fan, but we will let him off the hook for now. We are going to work on changing that. Please welcome Chip Mish. KMOX has broadcast every banquet since its inception in 1970. Please welcome KMOX Radio and Market Manager Becky Damian. My favorite table, along with the Commerce Bank table, because that's where she works, is table number 29. And this is the table, my wife, Angie Ackerman, my parents, Mike and Monty Summers, and Stan Musial's daughter, Janet Shorzy, and grandson, Brian Shorzy. Table 29. '17 recipient of the Jack Buck Award and governor and chairman of the St. Louis Blues, the 2019 Stanley Cup champions, Tom Stillman. Also with us tonight, great member of our Blues alumni, Mike Zook. At the first bank table, we welcome St. Louis Fire Chief Dennis Jankerson. And the president of the St. Louis Sports Commission, what a job he and his crew did on the Musial Awards this year. Wait till you see that on CBS. Mark Schreiber. And of course, we can't forget the 2020 recipient of the Jack Buck Award. Earlier this evening, he delivered another rousing rendition of the national anthem, Charles Glenn. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier this year, we lost one of the greatest Cardinals of all time, an ambassador, a broadcaster, and one of the great personalities our city has ever known. Let's pay tribute now.
This organization belongs to the fans. We just enjoy it.
Shannon cuts viciously at Bell's first pitch, and there it goes. It's a home run. Checks. Brummer's stealing home. He is saved, and the Cardinals win. Brummer stole home. Morse has pitched a no-hitter. It's the first time in the history of Cardinal baseball that a pitcher has two no-hitters.
Swing and a long one. There it is, folks. Baseball history. A second Grand Slam home run for Fernando Tatis. Swing and a home run. If it's fair, it is fair, and the Cardinals win it. Swing and a miss. The Cardinals are world champions for 2006. Get up, baby. Get up, get up, get up. At the wall. It's a two-run homer. Cardinals win it 4-3. Listen to this crowd. We're here for a short period of time and enjoy it and try to enhance it in any way we can. And hopefully I've done that over the years. God bless you. Thanks.
Please welcome at table 12, Cardinals broadcaster Ricky Horton. When we hear that voice and we see the images of Mike Shannon, a lot comes back to us, all of us in this room.
Yeah, you know, it's actually hard to get through a whole season without Mike. I mean, we all love Mike. If you love Cardinal baseball, you love Mike Shannon. Mike, if he walked in the room, was the room. He was bigger than life. And honestly, Tom, there were times throughout this season, and we know it wasn't the best of all seasons, but there were times that, you know, it felt like Mike's presence was still there because he was just, again, bigger than life. And I learned a lot from him. I considered him a great friend and had some fun times with him, too. As a baseball man, how would you describe him and his impact in that respect? Well, when he would speak about baseball, people would listen, whether it was the manager, the general manager, the players. I mean, Mike had definitely a sway. You know, Mike was not afraid to tell you what he thought, and you know, he was right a lot. I mean, he really understood the game of baseball. And of course, he was the local hero that made it to the big leagues and played football in college too, and could have been an athlete in that regard too. But clearly, an athlete through and through. But what he loved most, I think, was communicating to people what he was seeing. I think he really liked the connection with fans, which, as you know, Tom, on radio, it's hard. You're talking into a microphone and you don't see them. But Mike was able to somehow see them, and I think he taught me that, too. I think he taught me the connection that we have with Cardinal baseball. I think one of the best things about Mike, maybe the best, and this is your family, John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, Ricky Horton, Mike Claiborne, Jim Jackson, and when Mike Shannon was in the booth. He truly,
just wanted everybody to be happy, and he rooted for your success.
He was an entertainer. I mean, you think about Mike, you think entertainment. I mean, I would say, people would come up to me throughout the year and they say, we really, no offense, but we really miss Mike Shannon. It's like, no offense intended. I miss him too because following a guy like Mike Shannon to me is not a problem because I get to continue to talk about him and his influence. And yes, he wanted people in the booth to have a good time, people on the field, people at the ballpark. He was always trying to get everybody to have their Budweiser and have their good time at the ballpark. Part of what he did. Mike had the ability, Tom, I was watching him do a game at Busch Stadium from behind him, and I've told this story before, but if you've not heard it, I'm watching him do the game, and he's actually talking about something that's going on the field, and he's doing play-by-play, and he put his finger on the mute button, which we have, which he used a lot, by the way. So he puts his finger on the mute button, and he turns around to Jay Randolph, who's sitting next to me, and they start watching a horse race on TV behind him. So he takes his finger off the mute button, he goes, "It's 1-1 on Schumacher," and he puts his finger back on and says, "Hey, Jay, what's going on with horse number 3? And they talk for a while, and he goes back and forth, and then his phone rings. He's on the air doing Cardinal baseball. His phone rings, and he answers it, and someone else with a vested interest in said horse race started asking him questions, and he's talking on the phone. He goes, yeah, no, I know he didn't do very well, blah, blah, blah. Hangs up, takes his finger off the mute button, and looks out on the field, and Schumacher's not batting anymore. So he's looking all over the place to try to figure out what might have happened. I mean, he knows what happened there, but he doesn't know what happened on the field. So he puts his finger back on the mute button, and he asks John Rooney, "What did Schumacher do?" He goes, he grounded out, Mike. And he goes, "Okay, thanks." So he takes his finger off the mute button, and he goes, "And here's the pitch, and there's a ground ball, and Schumacher grounds out 4-3, and the count is 2-1 on Adam Wainwright." Like, immediately, he just went into that. And so Mike had a way of multitasking. I'm not sure all of what those tasks were, but I was playing golf with Mike once in Colorado, and he was doing his regular hit on KMOX, as you know. That's a bi-weekly thing that we do where you say what's up and what's new. And he did it while we were golfing. So he's talking about Chris Carpenter, and Chris Carpenter, he's really doing very well. One more thing I got to say, puts his phone down, hits a 7-iron up on the green, picks it back up and says, "So anyway, Carpenter is really, I think, going to do good here." And he would not miss a beat. I mean, the guy could just go from one thing to another. And yet, that ability for him to be so homey, I think, is what we liked. He was our hometown guy, and he acted that way on the air.
Thank you very much for these memories. Let's get a couple more pictures. Let's get to spring training. Let's win some games.
I'm on it. You bet. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Ricky Horton, ladies and gentlemen. What a great job they do in that booth. At this time, I direct your attention to the video board for our Sports Personality of the Year.
Well, this city has waited a long, long time to be part of the top-level professional landscape here in the United States. And you only get one first impression. St. Louis City 3, Charlotte 1, and their franchise home opener.
And now we give the fans something to celebrate. Let's entertain them tonight. And at the end of it, when it's all said and done, we're done enough.
For the first time ever, an MLS expansion franchise has started 4-0-0.
I think it's indicative of why this team is successful. It's a selfless group willing to work for each other.
And across the knees and the ball there, knocks it home. City leads 2-0. You dive and save again.
Dream night for St. Louis City. 4-0 in the first edition of this rivalry.
3-goal outpouring for the 8th time in 14 MLS games. What a night for City and these great fans.
This is our place. This is our home. This is our performance. Complete from A to Z.
A season of firsts for St. Louis City SC. First expansion team to start the debut season 5-0. First expansion team in MLS history to win 17 regular season games in their inaugural season. First expansion team to earn the top seed in their conference when they clinched the #1 seed in the Western Conference. And the best is yet to come. For Sports Personality of the Year, Bradley Carnell. And to present the Sports Personality of the Year, please welcome the President General Manager of St. Louis City SC, Diego Giuliani.
Hello, everyone. I'm Diego Giuliani, President and General Manager of St. Louis City SC. And on behalf of everyone at St. Louis City SC, I'd like to thank the Missouri Athletic Club for hosting the Jack Buck Awards and for the selection of our coach, Bradley Carnell, for this prestigious award. Bradley, the team's players, the coaching staff, and our sporting director, Lutz, all came together to make 2023 a storybook season for us. Even though we wish we would still be playing this weekend for the MLS Cup, we hope everyone here shares in the sentiment that City SC's inaugural season was a resounding success, both on and off the pitch. From selling out every single home match at City Park, to the incredible atmosphere and unbelievable support our fans brought inside the stadium, it really was an amazing season. As our head coach, Bradley's efforts contributed to City SC being the first MLS expansion team to start the season 5-0, win 17 games, and clinch its regular season conference title. The first expansion team with the 5-match best start in MLS history with 5 wins and a +11 goal differential, and the quickest expansion team to record 25 points, doing so in 13 games. Our goal is to build on this winning legacy and continue St. Louis's tradition of fielding successful sports teams who make the city proud. Unfortunately, our coach, Bradley Carnell, couldn't be here tonight, but he wanted to express his appreciation for this honor. So let's take a look at the video he prepared and sent for everyone.
Good evening, Missouri Athletic Club, and thank you for honoring me with the St. Louis Sports Personality of the Year Award. While I'm currently in Chicago continuing my coaching badges, I wanted to send a few words of gratitude to you all. Since I arrived here 2 years ago, St. Louis has welcomed me with open arms and has driven me to put the best product on and off the field for this city. It was a huge opportunity not only to grow as a head coach in my first full season in the MLS, but to grow as a person and managing our group of players, coaches, and staff. I felt that first year was incredibly rewarding, from the buy-in and the competitiveness of our team, and the full support of this city through all the ups and downs. While we set out to honor the St. Louis soccer legacy that came before us, such as Ty Keogh, Jim Leka, Brad Davis, and Laurie Shalupny, to name a few. We were able to build on this city's history with a historic season of our own. There have been a lot of outstanding award winners prior to myself, such as Bob Gibson, Kurt Warner, Albert Pujols, to name a few. So for this award to be given to me, I feel it's more of a nod to our entire team, because without them, I don't think I'd be put into this category. St. Louis is a great place to live. I want to thank the ownership group, Lutz, coaches and staff for helping me over the last 2 years, but most importantly, my family, for joining me on this journey and supporting me throughout.
Our heartfelt congratulations to Bradley Carnell, and we look forward to giving that trophy to him in person. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it is our David Freese Hometown Hero Award. Talk about a hometown story. This is a good one. So February 21st of this year, 2023, at 17 years old, he signed a 3-year homegrown player deal with St. Louis City SC just ahead of the start of the season. And a few days later, in the opening game, he played 31 minutes in City's 3-2 victory against Austin FC. That made him the first ever St. Louis native and Academy graduate to play for the club in Major League Soccer. But on May 27th, 2 days after graduating from Pattonville High School, he had the memory of a lifetime. Let's take a look at the video.
Hassan makes the first stop. Kid, the second. It's the local kid, Miguel Perez. In the 94th, a moment he will not forget, nor will the St. Louis locals.
Graduated from Pattonville High School in Maryland Heights this past May. The same week, he scored his first MLS goal.
Set piece. Ubit's trying to beat the goalkeeper at the near post once again. Ustrak jumps the gun, gets there first, and what a finish this is from Miguel Perez. 18-year-old homegrown product, the path less traveled, and he gets his first goal in Major League Soccer and puts the game to bed in the 90th plus 4. 3-1, St. Louis City SC.
The David Freese Hometown Hero Award was established to honor an individual who grew up in St. Louis and has gone on to achieve success in professional sports. White Sox pitcher, Francis Howell North grad Mark Burley was the inaugural winner of the award after pitching a perfect game in 2009. In 2011, following his unforgettable heroics in the World Series, the award was named after Lafayette High School grad David Freese. And tonight, we pass the award on to the Pattonville grad, and to present the award, please welcome his father, Luis Perez.
Thank you, Tom. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would be standing here before all of you tonight among so many St. Louis sports legends, honorees, and guests, introducing my son as a recipient of the David Freese Hometown Hero Award. From the very first moment his mom and I witnessed him take the pitch as a 4-year-old, we knew he was a special talent. He was all over the field and took to the game of soccer like he had been playing it for years. The ball stuck to his foot like glue, and he was a scoring machine, finding the back of the net often. He was just as happy feeding a teammate, encouraging them also to do their best. He was fearless on the pitch and grinded every single game. However, as a kid, he never smiled much back then, even when scoring goals. He was more businesslike, running right back to the circle after a team goal in preparation for the next one. He never took games off and competed every single match, establishing a strong work ethic and passion for the game early on. He never once complained about attending multiple weekly training sessions and worked just as hard in training as he did games. He joined the club ranks in St. Louis, where he continued crafting his game, and at the age 16 was spotted by Luch Fanasteel of St. Louis City SC at a Missouri ODP training session. He flew under the radar, but Lutz saw something special in our son that day and continued to scout him at several local club games in St. Louis. Lutz eventually approached our family after one of those games and offered him a roster spot on the inaugural U17 St. Louis City SC Academy team. He progressed to St. Louis City 2 the following year and then signed his first pro contract in February of this year. As you can imagine, this past year has been a whirlwind of emotions for our entire family, and we feel truly blessed to be here tonight. He graduated high school on a Thursday night, just barely. I'm kidding. In late May, and scored his first MLS goal 2 days later at City Park in front of 22,000 plus screaming fans and family. We could not be more proud of him and can't wait to see him on the pitch again next year and years to come at City Park. So please join me in welcoming my son, St. Louis City SC midfielder and homegrown player, Miguel Perez.
Thank you, Dad. And thanks to my entire family and close friends for being here to support me, not only tonight, but as I grew up in St. Louis playing soccer. All the practices and out-of-town games, they'll never know how much I appreciated their love and support in my dream of playing soccer professionally. What makes it even more special is that I am able to play for my hometown of St. Louis, where I was born and raised. Not many athletes get to play in the city they grew up in, and I feel extremely fortunate and blessed to be representing my hometown on and off the pitch. I am honored and humbled to be standing here tonight accepting the Hometown Hero Award. Being mentioned in the same breath as some other hometown heroes, such as Pat Maroon, David Freese, Brad Davis, and many others is pretty incredible. The names I mentioned have all made their marks in the St. Louis sports scene and are so important to our city. I hope to do the same throughout my career and represent St. Louis with the same pride and passion as those who came before me. And I would like to thank the members of the Missouri Athletic Club for honoring me with this award. It means so much to me, and I am truly grateful. Your recognition inspires me even more as my journey continues. I want you to know I appreciate it more than words can express. Lastly, I'd like to thank my second family, everyone at St. Louis City SC, who took a chance on a local kid from St. Louis, allowing me to achieve my dream of becoming a professional soccer player. For my world-class ownership group, Sporting Director Luis Perez, Head Coach Bradley Carnell, staff, and teammates. The last couple of years have been so special being a part of this organization, and I look forward to continuing to work hard for this team, the coaching staff, and this city. Go City, and thank you again.
Miguel, congratulations. Thank you, Luis. And to St. Louis City SC, thank you for a lifetime of memories in just 1 year. An incredible performance by City throughout, not just on the pitch, but throughout this region. Being able to claim Downtown West, being able to help grow our city, and for St. Louis City SC, we know it's just the start. We know we have a number of people here representing the team, and thank you for all that you do. Thanks again to City. We appreciate you. Our Carl O. Bauer Award recipient at this time, this one hits me personally because when you get to see somebody, and I was very pleased to hear that our membership selected this person, when you get to see somebody from their opening press conference all the way to cutting nets down is a very special journey. Let's take a look at this next video.
Celebrate St. Louis, and you're going dancing for the first time ever as A10 champions.
Tillett, very first season after 4 terrific years at Longwood. They were the Big South champions, went to the NCAA tournament last year. Now her first year at St. Louis, joining Lisa Bluter as the only Division I head coach to do that. St. Louis dancing for the very first time.
I am a teacher. The court is my classroom.
The Carl O. Bauer Award recognizes a top amateur sports figure. Bauer was an important personality here at the Missouri Athletic Club. In our history, brought innovation and inspiration to the club's athletic department during his 45 years of service as athletic director. And to present the Carl O. Bauer Award, please welcome the athletic director at St. Louis University, Chris May.
Thank you, Tom. First, I want to thank the MAC. Thank you, Neil. Thank you for everybody here who has honored our St. Louis University Billikens so many times. This is our 20th winner of the Carl Bauer Award, and I've been blessed to be here for 12 of them. And when I look at this room and I look at all the people who have made the success happen at St. Louis University, I can't thank all of you enough. From all the past presidents who are here, past President Keith Phoenix over here, who's been so supportive of us. Former basketball player Jody Peterson, who's over here, who was there to help us celebrate that championship. Jody, thank you. To Bob O'Loughlin and his family, who helped us open one of the best facilities in the country. Thank you, Bob. Our success has happened because of all of you, and I can't thank you all enough. The award winners, just since I've been the athletic director and I've been blessed, include Dwayne Evans, Jim Cruz, who took us on that great run after Rick passed away, Jordair Jett, Katie Shields, who's had another great run with our women's soccer team this year, Kevin Kalish, Yuri Collins just a year ago, Jordan Goodwin, who's playing for the Suns right now and having an unbelievable run at the NBA level. You could go on, and we are unbelievably blessed to have these Billikens being honored here. But today, we honor Rebecca Tillett. And Rebecca came to us in April of 22. And in March of 22, we went into the marketplace, and we were looking for a passionate teacher who could teach our young women what it takes to win in women's basketball. We knew we could be good at it, but we needed somebody to win a championship. So as we went into the market, I spoke to everybody. I talked to this guy that Bob O'Loughlin went to UConn. Well, this guy by the name of Gino I talked to. And Gino calls me back the next day and he goes, I got a coach for you to talk to. You need to talk to Rebecca Tillett at Longwood. And I said, what's the deal? He said, I can't tell you. I can just tell you she can flat out coach. And so I get on the phone with Rebecca and we started talking. And the first thing we talked about is we talked about winning championships. And the second thing we talked about are values. And when we started talking about the values it takes to win championships, it became very clear that she believed she could come to St. Louis and win championships. So fast forward, she comes. The first season was last season. It was a little dicey in November and December. It wasn't going exactly as I might have hoped or Rebecca would have hoped. And we sat down mid-December and we started charting the course. We can still get there. We can still get there. And sure enough, they got better and better as the season went on. They go 11-1 in the Atlantic 10 Conference. They win the they win the tournament with Brooke Flowers. Brooke Flowers is right over here, our St. Louis star. Brooke led the country in block shots. We had Julia Martinez, who was the MVP of the tournament. We had Kylie McMakin, who's one of the elite scorers in the country. But the great thing is, as you saw in that video, you saw a bunch of young women who believed. And we talk all the time, you got to believe to win championships. And they believed in each other. And they believed they could do something that St. Louis University had never done before. And so when Rebecca cut that net down, it was such a reminder to me that when a group of young people come together with a great leader, with a great teacher, anything can happen. And we believe that women's basketball is here to stay here in St. Louis. Rebecca is a great teacher. She's a leader. She comes from a family of coaches. So if we don't play well, you don't have to give her free advice because her family's calling her right after the game. Her dad, her brothers. I walk in the next morning. I say, Rebecca, did you hear from anybody? She goes, yeah, the defense, right? I said, yeah, okay, I don't have to say anything. But she is a passionate teacher. She's a passionate leader of young women, and she's a flat-out winner. She lives in Webster Groves with her husband, Brett, her children, Isabel, who plays for us, Jack and Maya, who's here, and I couldn't be more honored and thankful to be able to introduce to you this year's Carl Bauer Award winner, Rebecca Tillett, our women's basketball coach.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Chris. That was a great introduction. Huge thank you to the MAC for this honor. You know, I've never been honored in this way before, and I was raised by two teachers who actually were honored in this way growing up, and I remember thinking how special it was for them and for our family. They're the only married couple to win the Washington Post Agnes Meyer Teacher of the Year Award. So I give all the credit to them. And then just a little bit about me. You know, I'm the oldest of four, three younger brothers. We all love sports. We grew up on the East Coast, didn't know back then how passionate the Midwest community was, specifically St. Louis in sports. And I'm really drawn to this place and these people and the support we've had. Give you a couple little stories of last year's special team. I think that's usually what people want to hear. Start at the end, the memory of getting off the bus, and the first question that Frank's asked me on TV is, do you remember when you were 6 and 16? And I said, well, no, I don't remember that moment and would prefer to forget it. But it's a real part of the story, right? Because you can believe that something great can happen, even if it doesn't start out the way you'd like. So a couple of quick stories along the way. Kyla McMakin was one of our big recruits that Chris mentioned. We were down by the banners for the St. Louis Cardinals, and she surprised committed in that moment and said, would you like to go win another championship? She was on that first championship team that we won. Fast forward to meeting Brooke Flowers and getting to know her. She's a native of St. Louis, and she says to me early on, first couple weeks at St. Louis, and says, where has this staff been my whole life? And as a coach, when you hear from your student athlete, they're passionate about what you're teaching and what you're bringing, right? They pour belief back into you, just like you hope to pour into them. She then passionately delivered, some of you may know the story, and told the team that she came back for her 5th year to win a championship. And she did just that. And she's here tonight and now on our staff. I think so much of last season was staying the course, believing we're right in the middle of our non-conference play right now and teaching another team to do that. There was a story along the way where some of you may know the Celtics and Doc Rivers in 2008 when he hid money in the ceiling. Anybody know that story? So he asked the Celtics after the game, the only way they would come back to Staples, was the name of the arena at the time, to get the money they were going to hide in the ceiling was if they were in the championship, right? If they made it all the way to the NBA Finals. So he walked around the room and he asked everybody to give him $100, and there was a bit of blind trust in the room, right? And belief that they could do that. And everybody gave $100, and if somebody didn't have $100, somebody paid for them. Everyone's getting it out. They hid it in the ceiling. You can look it up. They went back and found it. We've heard the story told from an assistant coach's perspective, and he said they tore the locker room apart looking for the money, and they did find it. I shared that story with Chris in our conversations along the way in the season last year, and he said, you know, you should think about hiding a billiken when you go practice in the facility prior to the championship. So the women on our team, we hid a billiken. No one ever found it in the NBA G League facility that we won the championship in. And when we came back to win our championship, we went back together. A little bit of a covert mission because it was not in a locker room that we were assigned to. So we had to find our way in there past a couple security guards. Turned out it was a copy room for that day for the A-10. Got the billiken back, and a group of women who just flat out believed in one another and kept getting better all along the way. This year's team is curious. We're trying to be the owners of our own story and create a narrative for this group. And just want to say a couple of thank yous. Huge thank you to Chris May for giving me the opportunity to come to St. Louis. It's a dream of a lifetime to lead these women at this university. Huge thank you to Jody, who's an alum and is passionate about our current women, passionate about connecting us to the previous women who laid the foundation for us to be here. Thank you to Keith Phoenix for your support of our team and our department. Bob O'Loughlin, late at night, if you see me, often after the men's games, my light might be on, up there watching film in our incredible new facility for our student athletes. Breakfast this morning with students from different sports, eating together, just a fabulous place. And a huge thank you to our staff that's here supporting me tonight. Nobody wins championships without great teammates, great coaching teammates, and then creating a culture where teams can achieve at a high level. Hope to see all of you at a game. Women's sports are on the rise. Invest now. Thank you.
Congratulations, Rebecca. Congratulations to SLU. Folks, 2019 was one heck of a year. The Blues won the Stanley Cup in 2019, if you don't remember. Of course, a lot of things happened that year. You had the 11-time world champion St. Louis Cardinals trying to go after another one. You had the Blues winning the Stanley Cup. St. Louis City SC also came into existence, and it was announced that Major League Soccer was bringing a franchise to St. Louis, and pro sports were certainly on the rise. You had Worldwide Technology Raceway chasing down NASCAR. You had Nick Ragone and that amazing crew with Ascension getting a PGA Tour Champions event to come to St. Louis. And then the St. Louis Battlehawks showed up in our city. And they said, "Hold my beer." What a show it was. In 2019, going into 2020, and then like most things in our country, the pandemic stopped not only the Battlehawks, but stopped the XFL. But ultimately, it didn't stop the XFL, nor did it stop the Battlehawks. They came back, Battlehawks 2.0, and put on a show unlike anything we've seen downtown. Take a look.
Inside the dome at the American Center, it's getting nuts, it's getting insane, backed by the loudest and most passionate fan base in the XFL. Nick Tiano looking for his moment. Tiano over the middle, and Keith Butler's in. Hill for the win. St. Louis, go crazy.
The Jack Buck Award is in recognition of dedicated support of sports in St. Louis and making a positive difference in the community. The list, which is on page 4 in your program, is a who's who of powerful sports figures and beyond in the St. Louis area. To present this year's Jack Buck Award recipient, please welcome Sports Director at Fox 2, Martin Kilcoyne.
First of all, I would like to say shame on you to the MAC for allowing me to be up here with this microphone. We had a great event here this summer. Joe Buck, Chip Carey, many of you were here, right? I remember telling my mom about that event. I said, we have Joe Buck, we have Chip Carey, we have some broadcasting legends. Would you like to go? And she said, yeah, but why are you there? That's my mom. And then there's my wife. Every time I leave the house, she would always say, be respectful. You have a family. Don't embarrass yourself. Tonight I left and she said, don't be an asshole. Too late. Neil Perryman right here is our president, and I always said he looks like Darren Pang. I'm going to change. He looks like a constipated Darren Pang, okay? By all means, my dues are going up, I understand. Don't worry. Understood. I love coming to this event, although I've never been invited before. It is a great gathering of talented people. I was looking at Miguel Perez. He's 18. He's up here getting an award. What did you want when you're 18? Like a gift card to Velvet Freeze? I mean, this guy's getting a major award at the MAC. The great thing about the MAC membership, if they don't like what you have to say, you can always turn your hearing aid down, okay? There's something festive about being at the MAC this time of year, though. There's like a lot of spirit in the air, a lot of Christmas spirit. My guy, Mike Caruso, worked for the Blues for many years. He walks in. I haven't seen him in a while. I gave him a hug. I just kind of had this holiday spirit. He said, "What are you, dying?" John Mozeliak is not here tonight. Many people think he's at the winter meetings, but as Tom alluded to, they're looking for more pitching. He's out at Del Mar Gardens right now. I love Bob and Steve O'Loughlin because they are so generous, so supportive, everything St. Louis. And you hear all this money they give to St. Louis U, and I'm like, did Bob go to SLU? No. Did Steve go to SLU? No. I'm here to say to Bob and Steve, I'm not family, but, I think we could work something out, okay? Tom Ackerman is our host. I love Tom. I would speak for everyone here tonight at the beginning when I said, holy shit, Tom's got jokes. It was great. Very funny. I'm just making sure the delay's on at KMOX. The Stan Musial Awards were last month. We love the Stan Musial Awards. Have you ever been? They have tissues. If you sit in a row at they have tissues. It's like some creepy show at Sauget. They have tissues sitting there. And then you find out you will cry. The tissues, you're going to cry when you find out how long the thing is. The highlight of the night for me, talking to Cody Schrader, this young man, and it's such a great story, I decided to write a book. I hope it's okay. I'm going to write a book about Cody's story. It's called Rudy Can Suck It, okay? I don't want some nerd wearing a jersey that wants to get on the frickin' field. I want somebody who puts on the jersey and kicks everybody's ass, okay? This guy right here. Big fan of Coach Drink and everything he's done as of this year, to be fair. I always had this dream scenario where my football coach would be Eli Drinkwitz. My basketball coach would be Rick Majerus, and I was going to have drink and eat. And that was going to be this power duo, if only. City SC, inspiring story. We know all about that. What I love is their diversity. The coach is from South Africa. We have the goalie from Switzerland. The GM is from Germany. It's the kind of diversity the MAC is striving for. You laugh. Just last week, an emergency meeting here at the downtown club, they're considering allowing a registered Democrat. I understand it's been tabled. It's been... Our new guy, Chip Mish. Where's Chip Mish at? How long has Chip been here? 3 months? Still no caramel rolls? What the fuck? Come on. I mean, how long has he been here? We do have a handful of rejected MAC awards. There's the Keith Kachuk Award. It goes to the blues player who spends more time at O.B. Clark's than the practice rink. We have the Enos. I guess that's named after Kroenke. This goes to the local sports owner, best portrayed in the movies by a giant turd. We also have an annual award rejected so far. It's called the Demoff, in honor of Kevin Demoff. We would hand this out every year to the sports executive who over the past year was the most full of shit. Our next recipient, however, gets the Jack Buck Sports Award. And Brandon Williams, this is probably 12 years ago, calls me at Fox 2. And he said, I played for the Rams. I'd like to do some TV. So I looked him up, and I'm like, this guy was a superstar at Hazelwood West, recruited by everybody in the country. Goes to Wisconsin. Hazelwood East. What did I say? West. Hazelwood East. East, not West. So divisive around here. Hazelwood East. Goes to Wisconsin, becomes one of the all-time leading receivers as a Badger. Did some TV work for a while on our Rams shows, went to work for the Big Ten Network. He worked up in Madison for a while, and about a year ago, he called me and he said, I'm leaving Anheuser-Busch to go to the XFL. I said, that's usually the sentence before your wife leaves you. Okay? He said, I got a feeling this Battlehawks thing 2.0 is going to be a hit. I've got passion for it. And he was right. They did a lot of market survey, and he kept saying, what can we do to entice those Hawks fans even more? And it kept coming back, free beer, pretty simple. But Brandon's got a passion for marketing, for football, for St. Louis, and the Jack Buck Award is in recognition of supporting St. Louis sports, making a positive influence in the community. He's a young man, under 40. His whole family's here tonight. Grandma is here. Kids are here. His beautiful wife is here. This is my brother from another mother, Brandon Williams.
Woo, woo, woo! Thank you. If you can hear me clap once, if you can hear me clap twice, if you can hear me clap 3 times and say, yeah. All right, now, was it Rodney? Was it Neil? Who hired Martin to introduce me? I want names right now. No, I truly appreciate Martin. Martin gave me my first opportunity to talk about the game of football on TV. And I will forever be grateful for that. So I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much. Give it up for Martin Kilcoyne. Everything that Martin just said was basically what I do. But who I am is a loving, caring, sharing servant of God. And I am blessed to have my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, with me every single day. I first and foremost want to thank the MAC for this prestigious Jack Buck Award. I would have never thought in a million years that I'd be on a list that has the names like Stan Musial, Ozzie Smith, Martin L. Matthews, and Yogi Berra. I was a kid that grew up, went to Matthews Dickey, was a Matthews Dickey Bulldog, right here at 70 and Kings Highway. Yep. I played in a state championship in 2001 in the Dome. I played for the Rams in the Dome. I covered the St. Louis Rams as a broadcaster for 5 years with Martin at the Dome. And now to be leading all the business ventures of the team playing at the Dome is a surreal moment for me. I kind of feel like my man Luis scoring that first goal coming straight out of graduating from high school. That's how I felt when I walked out back on the field. So, yeah. When I first accepted the job with the Battlehawks, one of the first meetings that I actually took was with the Missouri Athletic Club. I had a chance to come and have lunch with Rodney and Wally, and they were truly welcoming me with open arms. They showed so much appreciation. They kind of laid out the red carpet and let me know what a real membership-based club is supposed to be like. Because when I came here, I just seen the excitement, the jubilation. It wasn't just, okay, this is the next guy that's running some sports franchise. It was like, no, we're truly Battlehawk fans. We appreciate you, we welcome you, and we want you here. And I truly took that to heart. And every time I get to connect with them, it's an amazing, amazing opportunity. So they not only welcomed me, but they welcomed my staff with open arms. They have been a tremendous partner for our team. I think one of my staff members, Mike G, has a suite named after him because he's here more than I am, and I'm a freaking member. I want to also congratulate Chip on his appointment now being the new GM and COO of the Missouri Athletic Club. Appreciate that. And we look forward to continuing our connection, our partnership, and growing it once we figure out what the name of this new league is going to be. I also want to thank my staff, especially the ones who are able to be here tonight. You can't stand up here as GM of a team and not have staff members who are dedicated, that are thankless, that stay up to midnight after games, cleaning up, picking up stuff, going on the weekends to community events. You cannot have success in the St. Louis community without those types of people. And it's a few people in here who understand what I'm talking about. And so Brian Sull, Dan, Mandy, Zach, Josh, and we have a few others that are not here. I want to give you guys a round of applause as well. And I truly don't think that without the love of St. Louis that we all have, the understanding of the fan base that we all have, and really having the connection with the corporate partners and the community partners that we have, that we would really be able to create some of the successes that we've had. My staff truly thinks outside the box. They come up with great ideas. They allow me to change most of them so that we can actually do them. But they always bring a fresh perspective, and they're just true St. Louis folks. I want to acknowledge my grandmother. I want to acknowledge my grandma, Miss Faye Davis. There she is. Woo! My grandmother has been a model of consistency in my life. I watched this woman work one job for 40 years. And then when she retired, I never heard her one time complain about the actual job. Now, her coworkers, that was a different story, but that's for a later time. But she is a person who instilled in me consistency and discipline. She showed up every single day at a job for 40 years. That's almost unheard of nowadays. So I thank you for that. Yeah, absolutely. Just last night, I was with a past Jack Buck Award winner, NFL Hall of Famer, and more importantly, my pastor, Aeneas Williams. And we talked about many things because every first Monday of the month, we have what we call the men's locker room, where we have about 60 to 70 men come into a locker room and really have those conversations that all of us men need to have about fatherhood, marriage, and what's going on in your mind. And one of the things that stuck out to me that he said last night was that man gives awards, but God gives rewards. And I have up until today, I have 6 rewards. 5 of them are my children. 4 of those children are sitting at their table. And I am proud to be your dad. I know that they will have great success stories that I can't wait to hear about, read about, and continue to talk about. But my greatest reward that God has given me and my most important relationship on this planet is my wife, B. Marcel Williams. It's 2 things that I really admire and love about my wife. One is her passion for life. And the other one is the fact that she really cares about people, like genuinely cares about people. My wife has mentored over 1,000 young women over the last 15 years. And I'm really excited for her because And she's done that through her organization called Jules Inc. that she started in her college dorm room at Howard University when she was only a sophomore. And it has lasted till now and is going to continue in perpetuity. But I'm excited because there's hundreds of thousands of other young women that she and her organization is going to mentor. And so I want to thank her for being here, thank her for supporting me, because as any successful man knows and understands, you cannot have success without a strong woman by your side. So with that being said, yeah. So with that being said, I want to again give a special thank you to all of the staff and all of the family here at the Missouri Athletic Club for allowing me to stand amongst some of the greatest sports personalities to ever come through the city of St. Louis. And so before I get out of here, on the count of 3, you know I need a call on 3. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3, call! Let's go.
Thank you, Brandon. Congratulations. And thank you, Martin. Congratulations for taking us off the air and forcing us into CBS News a little early. I'm just kidding. The delay works just fine. We appreciate everybody being here, and we very much appreciate this guest out in the crowd as the Bob Plager Legends Award is going to be presented. Let's hear it for Melissa Plager. Melissa, thank you for being here. Also, a hearty thank you for being here. Love this guy. Known him a long time. Bob Gassoff, Jr. They are here in support of our Bob Plager Legends Award recipient. In 2021, the Legends Award was renamed to honor the memory and positive impact Bob Plager made on the St. Louis sports community. Let's take a look at this video of our very much deserved recipient.
And to Berenson has the breakaway at center. Berenson in, he shoots, he scores! And Berenson has 4 in a row and the Blues lead, 4-0. And Van Imp, who has broken his seconds back to get it, lost it to McCreary. He's in with Berenson. Berenson shoots. He scores! Berenson has scored his 5th goal, and the Blues lead 5-0. What a night for the Redheads. Comes up for Harvey. Ahead for McCreary. Van Imp lost it to Berenson. Berenson has a break. One man back. Here he comes. A shot. He scores! Berenson has tied the record. Of 6 goals in 1 game.
Ladies and gentlemen, 7 weeks into the 67-68 NHL season, the Blues acquired Red Berenson and Barclay Plager from the New York Rangers. And the Blues, with Berenson, he became one of the Western Division's first great stars. And in that video you just saw with the legendary voice of the Blues, Dan Kelly, on the microphone, on November 7th, 1968, we just hit the 55th anniversary, Red Berenson scored 6 goals in 1 game. Red Berenson, a top 5 finalist for the Hart Trophy that season, 6 All-Star Game appearances in 17 NHL seasons. He amassed 261 goals, 397 assists. He retired in 1978, became part of the coaching staff. He was head coach for a time, and of course, as you know, college hockey very well. Very famously coach of a very good Michigan team. And again, I'm sorry about the Harbaugh comments. A member of the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame and a member of the St. Louis Blues Hall of Fame. And I should mention that Mr. Berenson is going to be back for that. It is on January 19th, and before we have our conversation, there are tickets available for the Blues Hall of Fame dinner, which will be right here in this room as they induct Blues greats Mike Liut, Keith Tkachuk, and the late, great Pavel Demitra. Red Berenson, it is great to have you here at the Missouri Athletic Club. When you see that video of that great day, first of all, what do you think about?
Well, I think it's so long ago they didn't even have TV because all you got is a radio broadcast.
But it was a good radio broadcast.
Well,
yeah.
they had TV, but they used to erase the games the minute they were over. Nobody cared about them. And it was a road game. It was in Philadelphia. The St. Louis fans saw it and then forgot it. But just as well, if I can't see it, it was probably pretty good. But Dan Kelly made it great. And if I could just take one segment from all these coaches talking, it's really about teamwork. And we had that kind of a team. The players on our team were more excited than I was. And we got a shutout for Jacques Plante. In fact, Scotty Bowen was trying to get me to go on the ice again, and it's no, I can't go, Scotty. If we get scored on, Jock will kill me. And our team really enjoyed it too. It was a great team event. It wasn't a one-man show. I got lucky. I was a recipient, but that's how our team was. And we became a pretty good team, and I think we got St. Louis off to a good foundation.
Almost had a 7th goal in that game, actually. When you go back, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I hit the crossbar on one. I didn't know I could raise the puck that high because our sticks were pretty straight, if you remember. So anyway, it was one of those lucky games.
I mentioned the name earlier, Barclay Plager. I want to start with him. When I say Barclay Plager, what do you think about?
Bark was maybe the best competitor, pound for pound, of any player I played with. It's just as far as being wired all the time, not once in a while, all the time. It didn't matter how big or fast or strong or mean anybody was. Bark was ready to either hit him or take him on or whatever it took. And he could hit. Like he and Bob, they could hit open ice hits that you rarely see in today's game. They would catch players with their heads down. Well, now you'd get suspended. You'd be thrown out of hockey for making hits that were considered clean hits. That would be a great hit. And they would carry guys off the ice, and Bob would laugh. Watch, Bark will get him. He'll go right to the hospital. And so that was Barclay Plager, and a great teammate. And that's one of the reasons I stayed on to coach is when I retired. And Bark wanted me to stay and help him coach the team that Emil Francis was starting to draft these great young players, the Fedorkos and Sutters and Babbage and Turnbull and so on. And I could see these guys were going to be really good and better than the older guys that were retiring. And so that's how sports are. But we all felt good about the team, and it was a team game. If we didn't have Barclay Plager, we wouldn't have won. If we didn't have Bob Plager, we wouldn't have won. If we didn't have Noel Picard, we wouldn't have won, and so on. It went right down the lineup. Terry Crisp, Frank St. Marseille, some guys that maybe never would have played in the NHL except for the expansion. And they got their chance, and they wanted to prove something. And for you young players, and I talked to that kid back there that's a young player, has not been drafted, you got something to prove. And if you go out and prove it, and just take the attitude from tonight's conversation, I'll be coming here watching you get a real award, an award of something you've done, not something at the high school level. It might be college, it might be the NHL. So good for you. Good luck to you.
What do you love about this game, Red? Why have you been in this game so long? What do you love about it? How did it start for you also?
Well, it's been my whole life, really, and coming, I'm not going to get into it. We'll be here all night, but they'll turn the lights off. But I just love the game. I love the people in the game, the players, but they're people. I mean, these are people behind these uniforms. And let's talk about Bob Plager. And as Bob was such a character, and what you saw on the ice was just a small part of the Bob Plager that I know. And what a great guy he was, what a great friend and a teammate and so on. But he was full of it. You didn't know what he would do. Like, you'd be sitting here having dinner, and somebody would say, shoe check, and you look at your shoes, and there'd be a bunch of ketchup or something on them, and it'd be Bob Plager crawling around under the tables putting ketchup in everybody's shoes. Or giving you a hot foot and sticking matches under the sole of your shoe, and they're lighting them on fire and go and sit down and say, watch him. So this is old-time hockey, but I like the funness of the game and the characters in the game, and I like the speed and the skill of the game as well. I'm a big NHL fan. I love college hockey. I like to see these kids come out of college and play in the NHL and have a degree they can fall back on. I'm so proud of Bobby Gassoff, what he did at Michigan. He came as a freshman. We won the national championship, and he stayed. He was a great ambassador for our team in the community. He was probably the best teammate anybody could have. He had your back all the time, but he was always encouraging you, regardless of how much he played or what he did. It was always about you, and it was about the team. And we need more of that in our corporate world. We need more of that in our schools. We need more of that everywhere. So good for Bobby.
Not much better than walking on that campus, Yost Arena, seeing the fans, feeling the cold of the ice and your team skating around. What can you tell us about coaching? We've honored coaches here tonight. What was the key to coaching for you? How did you find success?
Well, I never wanted to be a coach. Honestly, I didn't like Scotty Bowman. I didn't like Toe Blake. I didn't like any of them. But when the day came that I had to stand behind the bench as an experienced player and take over the team, I thought, holy jeez. And now it was, what would Scotty do? And what would so-and-so do? And I've learned a lot from the coaches above me, and I think it helped me in it. And being a player, you're a player. You know how you should be treated, and you know how you shouldn't be treated. And you want to be coached hard. I told our players, I'm going to coach you the way I wanted to be coached, and I wanted to be coached hard. It's not going to be easy, and you're not going to like it, but you're going to like it at the end of the year because you're going to find a way to win. And that was what it was all about. And then I cared about them as people, and I cared about their school. And I know these coaches do too. If you don't care about your players, they'll see right through you. And if you don't care about what's important to them, like school, then they're not going to go for it. They're not going to go for it. And it's got to be real.
Brett, a final thing for you, and that is you're in the unique position of having seen this Blues organization from its beginning, really, until now. What was the city like then, and what have you seen over the course of time, the impact that the Blues have had on this community?
Well, it's only been 40-some years, but since I left. But I can tell you this community made the team. I mean, it was the ownership of the Solomons that stepped up right from the start, and they put all that money in the old arena that was really heated by coal, and we'd get coal dust all over and you'd have coal dust on your lips and your nostrils. But when they cleaned it up, it was like Madison Square Gardens. It was a great place. And we knew that they wanted to do everything they could for us, and they got the players, and the fans started to come. And at first they didn't, but they started to come as the year went on, that first year. And pretty soon it was full, and it was so much fun, whether it was the organ player, and all the traditions started to grow, and the music, the Saints come marching in. It was a great place for the players. It was a great place for the fans, and it still is. With a new building, a new ownership, and new players, and new management, I think the coaches and the players, if they get half the feeling that we had, that what we would do for this franchise on a small scale and on a big scale, if they will go for it and do it and make your name, and you want to be part of the future of this program, then I think you're going to see another championship. I think Doug Armstrong and his staff are doing a great job. They're bobbling all the different things that we didn't have in those days, the salary caps and the player free agency and all the different rules now that these guys have to deal with. But good for them. They've got a good team, they've got a good program, and they've got the town behind them. And this town, as we all know, this is a sports town. When I got here, I didn't know anything about the Cardinals. But guess who they drafted while I was here is Dan Deerdorf, who's from Michigan. So I had to introduce myself to Deerdorf. Well, Deerdorf's best friend was Jim Hart. Jim Hart was our neighbor down the street. So now we're godparents to his kids and so on. So this is it's a sports town. It's just a big time sports town. Getting to meet Stan Musial and all the people up on the hill. Yogi Bear, I met him. He was only about up to my waist. But what a great guy. I listened to him on the radio all the way up. I love the Yankees and so on. But it's been a great sports town. I'm not going to sit here all night. I don't have to tell you people. You wouldn't be here if it weren't a great sports town. And this is a great event, but I'm not going to keep you up all night. So,
4 years. Yep. Four years ago, we stood right here and gave the Legends Award to Bobby Plager. And it is our honor to give you here in 2023 the Bob Plager Legends Award. Red Berenson.
Thank you very much.
Great job. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to direct your attention to the video board as we present the Stand the Man Award. Before we do that, however, it is our Carl O. Bauer Award recipient, Cody Schrader.
Busts it loose, and Schrader's to the 30, off the sideline. Schrader breaks loose. He's to the 20. You get to it, Schrader.
Schrader, one cut and straight ahead. Schrader catches a seam. Cody Schrader is gone.
What a night tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the Carl O. Bauer Award. I will say that we also delivered and will have on his desk, and we knew he was going to be in Las Vegas tonight, but he had a good excuse for the College Football Hall of Famer, St. Louis and Jeremy Macklin. Eli Drinkowitz is in Las Vegas tonight. He is also a recipient of the Carl O. Bauer Award, and when he gets home, he'll have an award on his desk. Congratulations to Coach Drink. When he found out about the award, he texted me Tom with 6 exclamation points. So he was overly thrilled to receive this award, and we're very excited to also give a Carl O. Bauer Award as our membership was ready for the Lutheran South product, the Truman State product, the University of Missouri product. The award given to the nation's most outstanding player who began his career as a walk-on was awarded last night in Bentonville, Arkansas. It's the Burlsworth Trophy, and Cody Schrader won it. Previous winners, Stetson Bennett, Baker Mayfield, Hunter Renfrow, terrific college players in their own right. Cody Schrader, after a standout year at Lutheran South, was a redshirt at Truman State. Think about that for a moment. What did he do with that news? He bounced back, and in 2021, he ran for 2,074 yards in one season on 300 carries and scored 24 touchdowns. He walked on to the University of Missouri, had a very good year last year, but as you well know, this year took everything to a new level and flipped college football on its ear. He led Division II in rushing, by the way, at Truman State, but walked on at the University of Missouri and was welcomed into the locker room, and he took everything by storm. This year, the SEC's leading rusher. This year, all SEC, unanimously. This year against Tennessee, just in one game, 205 yards on the ground, 116 yards through the air. The first player in SEC history to have 200 rushing yards and 100 receiving yards in the same game. No, he will not be at the Heisman Trophy presentation this weekend. But we know this is more than when Eli put his arm around him in that CBS postgame interview and said, you should be talking about this guy for the Heisman Trophy. It was more, he would tell you, than Cody Schrader. This was about Mizzou being back. This is about Mizzou wanting respect. And this is about a player who, when he steps up here in a mere moment, is all about team and about playing for a common cause. And that is blasting everybody in front of them and running to 10 wins and getting ready for a game against a brand name Ohio State that we can't wait for in the Cotton Bowl on December 29th. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Missouri Athletic Club, it is my honor to welcome to the podium the Carl O. Bauer Award recipient from the University of Missouri, Cody Schrader.
I just want to say thank you to the MAC for having me and my family here tonight for the recognition for the Carl O. Bauer Award. It truly is an honor just to have my name next to some historical legends that have received this award just from playing sports, whether that was Blues hockey, St. Louis Blues, or St. Louis Cardinals, and just St. Louis sports personalities. So it really is an honor just to be a part of this. And as a kid, this is everything you dream about, to come back to where you grew up, where home is, and the place that you're always looking forward to come back to. And so just to be here tonight is a real honor, and I just want to say thank you, guys. I also just want to say thank you to my family and Lutheran South family for being here tonight. I know you guys have sacrificed your evening to be here to help recognize me. And I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the community behind me, whether that was throughout high school, still at Truman State, and even now at Missouri. It truly is awesome to know what type of community you have behind you. And I just want to say thank you to all you guys for helping me make my dream come true. And I also just want to thank Mizzou Football, the University of Missouri, and my teammates and coaches for believing in me. My journey wasn't easy, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I think I've learned so many values and different things that I can hopefully take on once football is over. And I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be standing in front of you if I didn't recognize my own line and the big dogs up front. They have improved drastically. They put in the work, and they want to dominate just as bad as I want to dominate. So that combination this year has been really awesome and something that has really helped me in my career. So if it wasn't for those guys, definitely wouldn't be standing up here. I also just want to say thank you to the city of St. Louis. That Lou to the Zoo series that you guys have created for us alongside the University of Missouri, and being able to play back in the Dome where the greatest show on turf was played, be able to score touchdowns and beat Memphis this year there was a dream come true, not only just for me, but I can speak on behalf of all the kids that are from St. Louis that's on Mizzou. It was an honor, and to see the support and to see the energy and the fan base come back alive was something that was talked about for many weeks, and we are extremely grateful for all your guys' support and having our backs and having that belief in us again. Maybe some things that you guys might not know about me. I actually grew up in Jefferson County in a small town called DeSoto. So I wasn't actually originally born in St. Louis, but I do remember growing up, my dad would always take us to Blues hockey games, and I remember leaving school being excited and getting ready for an hour car ride all the way up here. And one thing I always remember is seeing the arch. And to me, that was like, I'm in St. Louis. And when I got here and finally moved here in St. Louis, to me, St. Louis meant opportunity. It meant a place to grow. It meant a place to achieve my dreams, chase my dreams. And that's kind of what St. Louis meant to me throughout high school. And the families, I met amazing families who have been so critical in my journey. And created lifelong friendships, and hopefully, one day I can build my family here, and I'm proud to say that St. Louis is my home. I just want to say thank you, and I'll see you guys at the Cotton Bowl. MIZ.
Cody, thank you. And let's hear it again for Cody's family and friends who are here. Where are they? Ladies and gentlemen, finally tonight, the Stand the Man Award. The description of the award is honoring a St. Louis sports figure for success, consistency, dedication, class, and loyalty over a long period of time. These are words to describe the great Stan Musial. The Stand the Man Award tonight is to honor a man who recently achieved the 1,000 games mark, the longest tenured GM in the NHL, and a Stanley Cup champion. Let's take a look.
Hello everyone, welcome to a new season of hockey. Welcome to St. Louis.
Yeah, let's go in a cup.
The St. Louis Blues, for the first time in franchise history, 51 seasons, have won the Stanley Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I started in 1997 at KMOX and was able to cover this man as a player, I was in awe from day one of the greatest players at that time in the league, and then went on to achieve great success. He is the 1999 Sports Personality of the Year. He is a Hall of Famer. Please welcome to the podium, Al MacInnis.
Welcome, everyone, and congratulations to all the award winners tonight. The Stan Musial Award is awarded to an individual for dedication, hard work, class, and loyalty over a long period of time. That's the definition of Doug Armstrong. In October, Army served his 1,000th game as a general manager of the St. Louis Blues. No GM in our team's history can claim 1,000 games. In fact, Army today is the longest tenured GM to serve his current team in the National Hockey League. Yeah. Army became our GM more than 13 years ago, and no one keeps a job in this business for that long if they're not producing results. Army's accomplishments over that time include the most regular season wins of any team in the Western Conference, 3 division titles, a Western Conference championship, and highlighted by our first ever Stanley Cup in 2019. As we all know, Stan Musial would have been a sports legend by any measure. Longevity, consistency, and excellence, to name a few. But I think it's fair to say, when we think of Stan Musial, we first think of Stan the man. Someone who gave more to the game and his community than was asked of him as a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. I assure you that Doug Armstrong does not want to be compared to Stan, and that's not my intent. I will only say that I've had the privilege of working with Doug for more than a decade. And because he is someone who prefers that others enjoy any credit or respect due to the success of the team. Let me assure you that Army embodies the values of Stan the man: dedication, hard work, class, and loyalty. Dedication to building a winning organization the right way. Hard work that inspires everyone within our organization. Class that is evident the moment you meet him. And loyalty to the Blues and his hometown of St. Louis. It is my distinct honor that I've been asked to introduce the Missouri Athletic Club's recipient of the Stan Musial Award for 2023. Please welcome Blues General Manager Doug Armstrong.
Well, I'll start out, Al's and our writing is a little bit bigger than your phone there. We're showing our age. I'd like to first of all thank the Missouri Athletic Club for hosting tonight's event and thank Al MacInnis for the kind words. I would like to congratulate the other award recipients tonight for honors that are well deserved. The Stan the Man Award is something along the lines of a Lifetime Achievement Award. And for a GM, I understand that this is more of a team award than anything else. Any success we've accumulated starts with great ownership, and there's none better than Tom Stillman and our local ownership group. This ownership group has provided the team, the city, the financial backing to compete with anyone in the NHL. Also, wins in the NHL don't come without great support of coaches, trainers, and hockey operations and business staff. I would like to thank each and every one of you for your tireless efforts in support of the St. Louis Blues. Most importantly, I would like to thank the current and past Blues players for their commitment and work ethic to excellence over the last 13 years. Without driven players, we're not here tonight. When we hear the names of Gretzky, Jordan, Brady, we think of great athletes. When I arrived in St. Louis in 2008, I thought of Mr. Musial as a great athlete. After 15 years of hearing stories and reading articles on Stan, I realized how wrong I was. Stan was a great man that just happened to be an athlete. Stan is loved by his community, and there's nothing more you can say to someone than that's a great honor to be thought of that way. I'd like to share a few stories on how we got to the stage tonight to receive the Stan the Man Award. Before you get into the stories, I'd like to I'll be interjecting 3 events that made me, quote unquote, break out in a cold sweat thinking my days were going to be numbered as a GM. As I stated earlier, we arrived in St. Louis in 2008 after 17 years working for the Minnesota North Stars and the Dallas Stars organization. I'm going to frame my time in Dallas quickly so you know how it molded me before coming to St. Louis. In 2002, I was elevated to the general manager's job in Dallas, and we had 5.5 very successful regular seasons. Unfortunately for us, we flamed out in the playoffs in heroic fashion every year. At the end of the 5th year and another playoff collapse, I headed off to the World Championships just to let the dust settle with the owner, make sure everything was okay when I came back. When I arrived back home, I got my first encounter that my days were going to be numbered. I walked into the house, it was immaculate. I went into our closet, all the old clothes I didn't wear were packed nicely in a box to take to Goodwill. I walked out, everything on the checklist for the summer cleaning was done. I said to my wife, you did a great job, what's going on? She said, well, I know you're going to go meet the ownership tomorrow, and this business is crazy, so you never know how it's going to end, so I just want to be prepared. So off I went to meet ownership that next day, and I came in with a smile on my face. We had a job. So we started the next season, off to a so-so start, 7-7-3, and I walked home that night, and I didn't have a job. I was fired by the Dallas Stars. That takes to how we arrived in St. Louis during the summer of 2008. John Davidson and Larry Plow brought me in to serve as Director of Player Personnel for 2 years, with the understanding I would take over as General Manager after that for 3 more years. John and Larry had done a great job of building assets and accumulating players, but the job that I took over in 2010 was to take those assets and build a team. We had a rocky year in 2010-11 that featured young players and a young coach, and started the 2011-12 season in the same fashion. In November of that season, we made an organizational change that set us up for the next decade. Ken Hitchcock was hired as our coach, the recently named Hall of Famer. Ken immediately gave us structure, purpose, and a roadmap to success. Ken led our team for 6 years, compiling one of the best records over that time span. As we built up the wins in the regular season and skinned our knees in the playoffs, we understood that we had something special and we needed to continue to cultivate that. In the summer of 2018, we went all in trying to win our first championship. On July 1st, the first day of free agency, we acquired Tyler Bozak, David Perron, and traded for a gentleman by the name of Ryan O'Reilly. A few days later, we hoped we'd added the final piece to a championship team by bringing in a self-proclaimed hometown hero, the Big Rig, Pat Maroon. As a manager, you always hope for the best, but plan for the worst. That summer, I didn't follow that script. I was so excited about the group and our chances to compete for a Stanley Cup. I said to my wife, it's time. Let's put a pool in our backyard. You know why? Because St. Louis is going to be our home. I was so excited. But not only did we put a pool in, I said to my wife, we're going to put a ledge around that pool, and on that ledge we're going to put 2 fire bowls, because one day we're going to have the Stanley Cup in the middle of that. You never do that as a manager. That was the stupidest thing I've ever done. So we move ahead. Training camp starts that year, and we're one of the teams that are considered to be a top contender for the President's Trophy and a potential Stanley Cup champion. Unfortunately, a funny thing happened in October and November. We sucked. And a side note, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to say that, but thank you very much for setting the standard. We struggled to win hockey games and found ourselves near the bottom of the league standings. There was a true feeling that that group of players were good, but we just couldn't find wins, which led us to make a coaching change and elevate Craig Berube, November 2018, to the head coaching position. In December of 2018, for myself and my family, our life read like a sad country music song. Our team was not performing well on the ice, and my wife got a call that her mother was diagnosed with cancer. We understood that Kelly had to go spend time with her mother and father, so we put the dog in the kennel, off she went, and I went back out on the road to do my job. Kelly got to her parents, and the stress of the situation caused her father to have a heart attack. When things finally stabilized, and this is all true, when things finally stabilized, Kelly decided to come home and spend Christmas with us. Unfortunately, Kelly was greeted with the news that earlier that day, our dog unexpectedly passed away at the kennel. While all these things happened so quickly in December, I remember standing in the backyard at our future pool, and all I saw was nothing but a big mud hole half filled with water. And I thought to myself, you're such an idiot. I can't believe you thought you'd see the Stanley Cup on that future ledge, when in reality, you're not ever going to see water in that frickin' pool. Then came the second time I thought my days were numbered as a GM. Mr. Stillman, who has always been a great supporter of the hockey operations department, called me into his office and said, "Doug, I believe in what you're doing, and you don't have to worry. We're not going to make a GM change." I just received the dreaded vote of confidence. I called my wife and I said, "Honey, I just met with Mr. Stillman. I'll come home and tell you what she said." And you know what? I walked into the house. I had never seen it that clean. Kelly knew what she thought was going on. With December behind us, we moved into January with still a strong belief in our team as Craig had them playing good hockey, but knowing that our time was running out. We played a game in Philadelphia in early January that changed everything. Craig decided to start a young goaltender by the name of Jordan Binnington. Binner played fantastic in that game and followed up with a string of great performances. Binner's great play gave our group the ability to breathe, enjoy the game again, and dare I say dream. Binner gave us a chance to win every night for the rest of the 18-19 season. We all know how the spring of 19 ended for the Blues as we captured the first Stanley Cup in franchise history. I'd like you to look at the screens and see what that actually looks like. Did you bring that? Yeah. For people out here who aren't hockey fans, that is the Stanley Cup, and that is the ledge with the fireballs beside it. Since 2019, we've had to say goodbye to some good friends and say hello to some new ones. We've had some good times and we've had some bad times. We thought through a pandemic, and we're currently working towards building another cup contending team. Now that brings me to the third time when I thought my GM days were numbered. About 3 weeks ago, I was informed by team president Chris Zimmerman that I was going to receive the Stan the Man Award. And I thought, that's a Lifetime Achievement Award. They don't give those out to guys buying green bananas. This is going to be short-lived. But then I thought to myself, if having that feeling your days are numbered is the cost of being associated with Stan Musial for just one night, I'd take that 100% of the time. But before I sit down here, I'd just like to share a story. A good friend of ours and someone I truly love, Kelly Chase, who was came out publicly that he's fighting leukemia right now. And he's got a great battle ahead of him. He knows that we love him. And if we could all just give Chaser a big hand right now to let him know the support. With that being said, I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight and enjoy your evening. Thank you.
We echo those sentiments, Chaser. We can't wait to see you back here at the MAC where you're up on stage and delivering those one-liners. We love you very much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Let's hear it again for our recipients: Miguel Perez, Brandon Williams, Rebecca Tillett, Red Berenson, Cody Schrader, and Doug Armstrong. One last round of applause, if you would. We don't do this dinner without him, our Director of Communications. What an amazing job he does. Jim Wilson. Thank you, Jim. We will see you next year at the Jack Buck Awards. Thanks so much for being with us. For those of you listening on KMOX, CBS News is next. Good night.